Hey everyone, welcome back. Happy Thursday today. So we got one more day to go for Friday, and we got a couple things to talk about. Bitcoin was down today. Miners, surprisingly, were actually up today. Is that the bottom for them? Maybe, maybe not. We'll take a look at what's going on with them. We got one miner that we have to get rid of, unfortunately. We'll take a look at why, possibly. We'll also discuss who that is later on. We'll also take a look at Bitdeer's production update for January, and that's all we got. And then we'll get into Q&A, so it should be pretty easy. But as always, you guys know the drill. Not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. If you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously as always. And that's all I really ask of you guys to do that. All right, let's take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin here today. Like I said, Bitcoin was down, miners were up. So kind of interesting day. We're still more or less trading sideways on Bitcoin here for the last, what is it now, 10, 12 days or something like that. We've been trading sideways or so on it. So Bitcoin was down a little bit today. It was down 1.26%. It closed at 96,625. We are right on that line here where we saw, let me zoom this in for you guys a little bit here. Right there, there's that line. I mean, we've had Thursday of last week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then we kind of went up a little bit, down a little bit, back up a little bit, and then we closed back down here at the same line. So that is our support resistance line, I guess you could call it. We are stuck there right now. And to be honest, I don't like the feeling here that we are at this point right now. So it does seem like we might be trending this way for the remainder of the month of February here, if that's the case, which isn't good, right? Because we wanted to be up on February. February typically is a good month for us. This time around might not be the case. We might be having one of those odd years where Bitcoin is down in February. But we still have time for that to change. We still have roughly, what do we got? Approximately 18 days left. Not even that, 15 days left in the month to where maybe we can get above this resistance here, or this triangle wedge, whatever you want to call it here, and actually go to the upside here above 100,000 potentially. We'll see. All right. So the miners today were kind of surprising here. MicroStrategy was down, like Bitcoin was down. So MicroStrategy is following Bitcoin here more so than the miners are, at least for today. The miners were up, which was surprising, right? Bitcoin being down, I thought the miners were going to be down, but yet here they are. They're up on the day. And some actually did pretty good today. Bitfarms was up 2.94%, almost 3%. Bitdeer was up 2.6%. Cypher was up 3.4%. Cleanspark was up a little bit, 1.4%. CORZ was up 3.7%. Hive was up 4%. Hot A was up just a little bit, almost 3/4 there. IREN was up 0.5% roughly. Mawson was up 4%. Riot was up nicely, almost 10% here today, 9.59%. I wonder if that's based on the news that came out yesterday where they're getting the 3 new board members added to the board there. Some of them are pretty good selections. Some are kind of questionable. At least I thought they were a little questionable, but some are pretty good there. And then Wolf was up just a little bit here today, 0.82%. And then we had some small miners being up quite nicely also. Like Annie was up 9.51%, but this one's been beaten down quite a bit here over the last. So I think it's just a little bounce there. It bounced off. It looks like the RSI on the daily went down to 30 here, and it kind of bounced off of that. I'm wondering if that's the reason for that. Just a little dead cat bounce happening on that one. Argo was up 7.7% as well. That one's been bouncing around here at the very low end of the RSI as well. Bitdigital was up a little bit, 2.2%. Digihost was just down 5.2%. DMG was up a little bit, 1%. Mawson was down just a little bit, and Stronghold was up 3%. Still waiting for that confirmation to happen with Stronghold and Bitfarms for consummating of their merger or buyout by Bitfarms. We'll see when that happens. The ETFs were also in the green today. BitQ was up 2.8, BKCH was up 4.2, DAP was up 2.9, and WGMI was also up 2.4. So it was a halfway decent day for the miners and the ETFs all around, if you look at it that way, which was surprising. So maybe have we bottomed out on some of these guys here? Possibly. It's hard to tell. We have seen this before where Bitcoin's down, the miners are up, and see if this continues as a trend here for us going forward. We won't know until we're past it and through it. So we'll see what happens there. Let's take a quick look at the network hash rate as well while we're at it here. We haven't looked at this in a couple of days here. The 7-day average is down to 801 exahash. The 30-day average here is down and up a little bit here to 792. We haven't crossed the 800 mark here yet on the 30-day average yet. We do have a lot of miners that are, transitioning more into HPCI, or at least looking for opportunities there. Reducing some of their hash rate growth. Riot, IREN a little bit as well. Who else? There's others in there as well. So that's definitely interesting to see how that's going to play out this year. We don't have a lot of estimates or targets yet from the miners as far as what their growth is going to be. We know that like Cleanspark's getting to like 50 something exahash. IREN's getting to 52, right? Like 38 or something like that. So not a lot of growth left for those guys here when we're looking at those types of numbers. So we're not seeing those huge growths that we saw at least last year, where a lot of them were growing like crazy. This time around, it's a little bit more muted. Could that be because, one, the cycle might be ending, right? If we look at historical cycles, the cycle for Bitcoin would be ending sometime in like Q3 of this year. And maybe that's the reason why they're not looking to grow too crazily this year. Or if we do go into an extended cycle, maybe then the cycle for like 2026 would be a growth cycle again. This year is just reap the rewards as best you can, I guess, and prepare for 2026 maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We're still waiting on a bunch of miners to report their quarter results. Maybe when they do that, maybe we'll get some updates from them at that point as far as what their growth targets are as well. The only one that's got really like sizable growth this year is, I believe, Bitdeer, Hive right now. Hive is growing 4x, right, from 6 exahash to 25 exahash. Bitdeer's got quite a bit of growth left in the second half as well. Cypher potentially as well. We just need some clarification on that stuff as far as what their targets are going to be going forward. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll maybe at that point we'll maybe try and see where the network hash rate could possibly go by the end of this year. Got pretty close for 2024, right? I said between, what did I say? Between 800 and 900 petahash or exahash, sorry. By the end of the year, we got pretty close. I was off by 20 exahash or something like that. So really happy with that. We'll see if we can replicate that again for this year. But need some more target updates for the miners. All right, so that's it for that. Let's see. Bitcoin in February so far is down 5.38%. So we're still in the red. Like I said, we got 15 days left in the month. We'll see where we end up at by the end of the month. I mean, historically, it has been a really good month for us, except for 2 years here. In 2014 and 2020, we were in the red, but maybe this is going to be one of those years that we are again in the red, because it seems like it does happen every, 5 years or so, more or less. I mean, we had 5 years of green here, so maybe we're due. We'll see on that one. Okay. So we're going to talk about the miner that we're going to get rid of here. I got confirmation today from Bryce from Bryce actually. I reached out to Bryce because one of you guys mentioned yesterday that TeraWulf is going to be ceasing to produce monthly updates for us. So TeraWulf is on the chopping block in my spreadsheets. If they don't provide the monthly updates, there's no way I can track them, see how they're doing, compare them to the other miners as well. That's a shame. Because they're still at 9.7 exahash right now as of December at least, and they were supposed to grow a little bit more beyond that as well. But it seems like they are turning their shoulders to the Bitcoin mining community a little bit and going more for the HPCI business out there. Okay, I don't blame them, but might be a little bit short-sighted, I think, because you could possibly do both. The only thing that I think here that might be happening, and this is just my little interpretation, maybe not. I could be wrong on this, right? And when we look at December production update for them, the cost to mine was really high. I wonder if they just don't want to provide that kind of optic outlook or, basically guidance, whatever we want to call it. They came in at 62,805 per Bitcoin mine was their average power cost. That is really, really high. All right, came in about 7.8 cents per kilowatt hour. So that's one of the highest that we've seen here out of all the miners that I track. Prior to that, I believe Mara was the highest. I think they were at like 6.5 cents for when they were most all hosted. Recently, the past year, they've gone to more of their self-mining, where they own the operations and the data centers. It's 55% now owned and then 45% hosted, I believe, still. So their cost should have come down to like maybe 5.5 cents, something like that, somewhere around there, maybe even less than that. We'll wait to see what they actually report for their quarterly results when those do come out. But this is the only reason I can think of why they would stop, right? Is the numbers here are not fantastic. So if the numbers aren't fantastic, why provide the information? You might just, make people upset at this point. So that's the only reason I can think of. Because otherwise, why wouldn't you just put out a quick blurb? Here's what we're doing with Bitcoin mining. Here's what we're doing with the HPCI business. Here's, we're working on getting more customers, things like that. I think this is all good and useful information for investors. But that's just me. So I'll leave them in my spreadsheet for a little bit longer to see if maybe they change their mind and maybe provide something for February. You just never know, right? If they get enough feedback from everybody else, they might start doing that again. And we've seen that also with, what was it? Hut 8 did that earlier in the summer as well. They at one point stopped. They said they're evaluating whether or not they're going to continue to do that, and they were off by a month, I think. I held on to them for a month, and then the following month they actually put out the numbers for the prior month and that current month. So I'm going to hold off on completely getting rid of them in my spreadsheets, but if they don't get an update out for February and March, it'll be time to, at that point, to remove them from the spreadsheets here that I have. So just wanted to point that out to you guys, which, I wish them all the best. I wish they would continue to provide these updates because, like I said, I think they're great for investors and everything else. But it's not my decision to make. It's whatever they're doing, whatever they feel is right for them. So wish them all the best. Okay, so that's it on that one. Let's take a look at Bitdeer here. Bitdeer provided their January update. So here's some updates that we do have from them. They are still on track with a lot of their seal miners, the A2s, the A3s, and things like that. A lot of things are still happening there for them, which is good. They did mine 126 Bitcoin here in January, down from the previous month due to temporary curtailments at their Bhutan site related to higher seasonal electricity prices, right? So at least you know what's going on there, right? This is why we like the updates. We can see more or less, I wouldn't say real time, but at least close enough to real time with what's going on with the companies, which is fantastic. All right, so the seal miner A2 production of approximately 35 exahash of mining rigs through October 2025 was delayed by approximately 1 month due to the 6.4 magnitude earthquake that struck Taiwan on January 21st. Right, so that's never good when you get an earthquake, especially as sensitive as that equipment is there that makes these wafers. That's going to delay things, so that's why that's being delayed there. First trial batch of the air-cooled rigs have been delivered to our mining data centers for testing and are running stably, so that's good. 29,000 units, approximately 7 exahash out of the 35 exahash of seal miners, A2s, are allocated for external sales and are expected to begin shipment in March through Q2 of 2025. So they're going to be giving those to somebody that bought them. I don't think they reported who that is yet, or I don't think they will ever, maybe. And then the seal miner A3, the initial tape-out sample wafers with an expected chip efficiency of approximately 10 joules per terahash are expected in Q1 of 2025, so this month still. That's going to be interesting to see, right? That's definitely very efficient. That would make him the most efficient here right now. We don't know what Bitmain is planning on doing. And then the SealMiner 4 R&D remains on track to achieve an expected chip efficiency of approximately 5 joules per terahash with anticipated initial tape out in Q3 of 2025, so still this year. So production might go for that sometime in 2026. So they're still rolling and rocking and rolling on this. This is good. This is definitely going to give them maybe the edge here going into 2026 and beyond there, if they can get those things down to those joules per terahash efficiencies. Going down here, we can see that their self-mining was at 8.7, slight increase over what they had in December of 8.5. They have no cloud hash rate now, 0, again, like it was in December as well. And then they still have half an exahash delivered but not hashing there. Hosting went up to 13.2 from 12.7. Slight increase there. And then Bitcoin self-mine was 126. And then Bitcoin held now is 724 for them. So they're definitely hodling more and more as time goes on here. Going down here, we can see all the updates on the infrastructure construction updates, Rockdale, Tidal, Missilon, Ohio. Some of these I can't pronounce even. Clarington, Phase, Jagmeling, Bhutan, Fox Creek, Alberta. They got a lot of sites here. The nice thing is that they provide us with all of this kind of nice table here as far as what's going on, capacity, status, timing, right? All of this stuff has been already completed here. Tidal Norway is in progress, pending approval, regulatory approval. Tidal Norway Phase 2, right, is in progress, mid-2025. Messilon, Ohio is mid to late 2025. Clarington, Ohio is Q3 2025. Phase 2 of that is estimated 2026. Jagmeling, Bhutan, mid to late 2025. Rockdale, estimated 2026. Alberta, Canada, Q4 2026. There is in planning, a lot of stuff. So a lot of stuff still happening for them. Total pipeline capacity is 1.7 gigawatts, sorry. And then total global electrical supply or capacity is 2.6 gigawatts. So definitely one of the larger ones here in the space, along with like Cypher, IREN, I would say even, Riot. Who else am I thinking of here? Maybe another one there that I'm blanking out right now on. Marathon has a lot of stuff, but we don't know what their future plans are or anything like that. So yeah, but this is really a good update here. A lot of stuff happening for them, and a lot of the growth is going to be happening like second half of 2025 into 2026 as well. All right, let's take a look at the numbers that I have here for them. So Bitdeer right now has about 143 million shares outstanding. Market cap is about 2.3 billion. Stock price at $16.58. Their performance over the last 12 weeks, well, from 12 weeks ago, pretty good. But other than that, it's not been great. Current hash rate about 8.7. Future hash rate of them at 11. We know they're going to be probably installing more than that with their own ASICs. Don't know exactly how much though. So when we get an update on that, maybe they'll update us when they provide the quarterly results. We'll get an update at that point. BTC HODL is now 724. That's valued at about 70 million as it is right now. That's only 2.94% of their market cap as it is. So each share has about 49 cents. And then you can see their BTC production here has been coming down. They haven't been really increasing their hash rate much this year, or the past year, I guess you could say. They're down to 126 Bitcoin mined here. Revenue has come down as well to 12.6. Their best month was last year in March with almost 20 million in revenue at that point, but you had the halving event happen. They have increased their hash rate a little bit here from 6.7 for soft mining up to 8.7, so about 2 exahash added. Not much. That's not much there. But BTC HODL here, we can see nice sizable increase here starting basically, I would say maybe October, November timeframe was when they started to increase that. So that's good to see there. Bitcoin sold, how much they've been selling in the past. BTC per exahash efficiency is at 14.5, so about average. On that scale, how much they've sold of Bitcoin in the past. So it looks like they bought some Bitcoin maybe here, it looks like November on it. Going down here, we'll get into some of that other stuff here in a second. Institutions did increase for them. 144 now from 113. Shares also increased by institutions to 29 million. So that's now 21% of the companies owned by institutions. We now have 8 strong buy ratings, 4 buy ratings, which is an increase from prior month. Still 0 holds, 0 underperforms, 0 sells. Price target for the high stayed the same at 39. The average went up to 25.93 and the low went up nicely to 21.20 here. So yeah, they're definitely getting priced a little bit better here from analysts here going forward. For the month of January here, I had them running at approximately, roughly, 24 and 3/4 days. So like they said, Bhutan was down for high energy costs, and that's the reason why. They got us to the 12.59 million here in revenue, which coincides with what they mined, 126 Bitcoin, average price of Bitcoin for that month, and that's what we get here, so that's what we're going to use. The hosting side of things, that's always tricky. Not sure exactly how much they're getting. I think I'm calculating like 50% of that in the numbers up here for them. So that gets us to, if we use the numbers for January times 12, including the hosting at 50%, I think of that. I get them between $19.14 to $28.71, pretty close to where the analysts have them as well. Maybe a little bit on the lower side here, but they have a 39. I got them at 28 as the high side. So maybe they're using a 20p on them. If we do that, then yeah, that gets us closer to what the analysts are looking at for the high side, 38, 39. So maybe we'll leave it at that. They're at 1658. I would say that, yeah, they're undervalued maybe right now as it is, right? Especially as they continue to increase their own self-mining hash rate with their own machines, with the much better joules per terahash efficiency and everything else. And yeah, I mean, they still have also HPCI potential there that they're working on at some of the sites. So they got a lot of stuff going here for them. So yeah, that's it. The only thing, like I would say for everybody, is they got to get to scale. That's going to solve a lot of their issues. Their costs have been going up to mine Bitcoin. We'd like to see that come down as well. Operating costs also kind of high there a little bit, but those have been coming down, which is good to see. So they just got to continue to execute here going forward on it. All right, and that's all I got. And then later on, I don't know if we're going to do anything tomorrow. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. So tomorrow I might be off, celebrating or spending time with my wife. Don't know exactly what we're going to do yet. Probably go get dinner and flowers and things like that. But that'll be it. So maybe on Sunday we'll look at the miners as far as how they performed in January and compare them to each other for that. or maybe something else. We'll figure something out. Okay, but that's all I got. Hopefully tomorrow's gonna be a good day, Valentine's Day. You know, I'm sure we could all use a nice green day on Valentine's Day. Definitely probably lift up our spirits a little bit more. Instead of being down on Valentine's Day, we'd be all happy. So we'll see what we get. All right, let's get into the Q&A side of things here, and we're gonna call it a day after that. All right, let me go here. As always, you guys know the drill. Q&A. Preface your questions with a question mark or a Q. I'm gonna roll my way back up a little bit on the comments and then work my way down. So I will get to all your guys' questions. Just be patient and we'll work through it all as it is. All right. Let's see, what do we got here? Bear with me. Trying to scroll up, trying to see. Oh, I got a burp too, excuse me. All righty. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, sorry, a lot of comments up top. Let's see, B-side says, Seb, the Mighty Mafia is watching your stream. Nice, that's awesome to hear. Ryan asks, what about Griffin? How did they do? Well, let's see here. Griffin, I know that they're working on some HPCI business or something like that. They're supposed to get, I think they are getting a site that they're saying has like, what is it, 4 gigawatts or something like that. Do I have Griffin in here? I thought I had Griffin in here on one of these guys. I guess not. Let's take a look at the stock there really quick. See if we can add it in here. Griffin Digital Mining, NASDAQ, GRIFP. Let's see, let's add that in there. Bear with me. Okay, let's take a look at it here. So Griffin, I haven't heard any news recently from them, but they're up today 5.95%. They're also way down from they were in the past here as well. Well, they were $1.10. They're at 27 cents, right? They're a smaller miner. Not really sure what's going on with them there. I would have to take a look into them, see if there's any press releases on them or anything like that. What do we got? Anything here? Griffin Digital Mining expands Bitcoin mining fleet by 22% and evaluates creation of Bitcoin strategic reserve designed to strengthen balance sheet. That was from January 27th. Griffin Digital Mining announces strategic Bitcoin reserve initiative. Okay, so they're going to be buying Bitcoin, looks like it as well. I mean, might as well, but yeah, they haven't had sites in the past. I thought I read someplace that they're buying a site or something like that that has like 4 gigawatts potential or pipeline potential. But I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I mean, that's a small one. That's one of those things where you just make a bet on it, basically gamble on it. If it takes off, it takes off. You're going to do pretty well. So if not, you might lose it. So it's one of those, don't risk more than you're willing to lose on these types of plays, I guess. Okay, let's go back here. Alrighty, next one here. If you had to choose between Cleanspark and IREN, which one and why is more likely to go to $30 to $40, I guess, when Bitcoin is at least 150? All right, so, gosh, both are really, really good companies. So that's a tough one. One has a huge hodl position, which helps them out. The other one does not. The other one, IREN, has the HPCI potential there. So if they get something from that, that could be a big boost for them. I would say both, actually. Right? I own both of them, and that's the reason why I own both of them, because they're both great companies. So which one could go from 3 to 40 with Bitcoin 150,000? That might be tough. If Bitcoin's only going up 50% from where it's at right now, I would expect the miners to do at least 2 of that, 2x, right? So maybe 100%. So we're looking more like in the $20 range at the low end. But could they go higher than that? Yeah, I mean, if you get Euphoria, everything else, you get people piling in, maybe they could go higher at that point. All right, next one here. Let's see. Mawson and Griffin will probably be the most crazy percentage up when September, December rolls around. You never know, it could be. But last cycle, it was the miners that had the most growth. They were the most overvalued, I guess you could say at that point. Some of the smaller miners didn't do as well. But that might be a different outcome this time. Let's see. Sarmelon Gaming says, sold my entire Wolf position and moved it into more Cleanspark today. I want monthly reports to keep tabs. Big no, Paul. Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps to see where things are going, right? If you don't have the insights onto it, you don't really know. So that's unfortunate. Let's see, your miners are so beaten down, they might take off early in February while Bitcoin stays flat till March. That would be nice. I'd be happy with that. All right. Okay, next question. Trying to find it. Let's see here. Let's see. LB, your volume is too low, or is it just me? Depending where you're listening to or what you're watching it on, I know the volume can be a little bit low sometimes. Some people also say it's a little too loud for them, depending if you're using headphones and things like that. I try to adjust as best I can. Like, obviously, I can't appease everybody. Some say it's too loud, some say it's too low. Let's see. Sumun says, if the cycles were predictable, it would be too easy. Got to make it hard and stress us out. It's the American way. Yeah, I mean, that would make it easy, right? If it played out the same way every time that we thought it was going to do, then everybody would do it. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Steven says, Wolf, you never know, could be a buyout. Do you think like one of the hyperscalers would buy them out or something like that? I don't know if they'd be willing to sell. I mean, they're not even going after the hyperscalers. They have a customer there now for 10 years, I believe, right? With an option to extend that out for another 2 additional 5-year terms or something like that. So they have a pretty good deal there right now. They're building towards that. So I don't think they would be looking to be bought out. All right, let's see. Question. IREN had a small net positive earnings report, but will any other miner report positive earnings this quarter, not including the one-time non-cash HODL due to FSB? I think need earnings to get price. Yeah, I think I looked at Cleanspark again. Cleanspark was shy just a little bit from getting that, from having a positive EPS without the HODL position. But they stated that this current quarter they should be able to do that, get a positive EPS without the HODL. Hive actually came in at positive 1 penny, but I think that was with the HODL position. Revaluation on that, so that really shouldn't count. And that's all we've really gotten right now is those 3 that have reported. So we haven't really reported anybody else. The other one that might be able to do it might be without the, I was going to say Mara, but I don't know. Mara might be tough. Riot also might be kind of tough there. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else is going to be able to do that without FSB rules. Let's see. Also, do you know when Mara reports earnings? Yeah, they came out with a date yesterday. Let me pull that up. I don't remember the date off the top of my head here, but luckily I got quick links to all the stuff here. All right, let's go back to the screen here. Mara schedules conference call. It is going to be February 26th on Wednesday. So that's coming out towards, when is that going to be, next week? No, it's not going to be next week. It's going to be, yeah, following week, I believe. So we'll get that at that point for them, and we'll see what they have to say. So like I said, we still have quite a few. Only 3 have reported so far. So we got a ways to go before they all report. And then we'll definitely do some digging into them, excuse me, and see where everybody stacks up against each other. All right. Let's see. All right. The Mara price has been down. How high Mara could go this cycle? I mean, that depends where Bitcoin goes, really. I know everybody's been beaten down. Like the pure play miners have been beaten down. Cleanspark, Mara, even Riot, Bitfarms for the most part. Who else? IREN even. A lot of the pure play miners have been beaten down. Some of the ones that have aspirations for HPCI have done a little bit better. But yeah, it's going to depend where Bitcoin goes this cycle. If we get to 200,000 by the end of this cycle, I think that's going to bode well for Mara. It could definitely go past, I mean, Mara right now is at 16, so I mean, it could go past $50, if not higher than that as well. It just all depends. You know, it might even go as high as 80 or higher than that. Just don't know. It just depends how much attention they get and how much FOMO you get into them as well, especially as Bitcoin is going up higher. All right. What are your thoughts on the rumor that CoreWeave wants to buy out Riot? What would that do to Riot stock if that does happen? I have not heard that rumor. CoreWeave, I mean, CoreWeave has, well, they have what, 700 some odd megawatts with Core Scientific. Gosh, too many cores. Core Scientific, could they use more megawatts? Potentially, right? And I believe they were planning on going with an IPO this year. But then you're also, if they buy out Riot, I mean, you're buying them out, and you're getting, what, 600 megawatts that's available for HPCI? What if they just worked with like IREN or something like that, where you can get almost 2 gigawatts for HPCI? So that might be a better play there, if that's what they're looking to do. But it all comes down to price. All right, here I hear HODL premium often, but why would any miner get a premium for HODL? ETFs don't get premium. Yeah, I think the only reason people were thinking about that was because of MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy gets a premium, right? That's the only reason people were thinking it. I don't agree with that either. I'm thinking at least, at most, they might get like a 1.25, I would think, premium on their HODL, right? I think you can get a little bit of a premium because if you believe Bitcoin's going to go up, right, you're going to value that a little bit higher in value than what it is right now. So that's the only reason I would think that. So maybe even, I would say maybe like before the peak, you might be getting like a 2x on the HODL, maybe, if you're looking at it that way. That's kind of what JP Morgan Chase said, that the miner should be getting value about 2x or 2mNAV or whatever they call it on their HODL, because of the simple fact Bitcoin goes 2x from here, more or less. But yeah, I don't know. All right. All right, this question. I said, what do you think of Ben Gagnon's interview? Does it provide you any reason to stay with Bitfarms, or is it more of the same, similar to his interview last year, albeit he is CEO, not CMO anymore now? Yeah, so I actually sold another portion of that back in the beginning of the month when the results came out for January. Wasn't happy about the growth there. I mean, the growth was good, right? But I wasn't happy about the declining growth here. And then obviously when the interview came out also, I mean, they're definitely doing things that they see are right for them. But I was looking for growth. I still own about 8,000 shares of Bitfarms. I'm going to plan on holding that for quite a while. We'll see where it goes. So we'll see. But I'm disappointed, right? The reason I got into Bitfarms was great operations. The growth was fantastic. They're getting to 21 exahash, but that's been pushed out now, actually decreased. So I'm not happy about that. All right, let's see here. Seb chart is blurry. Which chart? Is it the one that you guys are looking at right now? Is that one blurry? Okay, Manu says, buy some flowers for IREN for me. All right. Let's see. Did you watch Rex Finance video that just came out today about the negatives with IREN and it being possibly financial trouble? I did not, no. And why would it be in financial trouble? They got a 1 billion ATM there. That, I mean, financial trouble, okay, maybe if they were trying to build out a 2 gigawatt data center. They don't have the cash for it. I mean, you're looking at that point to build something that out. They're looking at like $24 billion you're going to need to build that out at, if you're looking at the standard pricing of 12 million per megawatt, right? That's kind of what I calculated, I think, in my head a while back. It was 24 billion or something like that. They don't have that kind of capital. So they definitely don't. They're going to need somebody to partner with there. One of the hyperscalers, preferably, that has deep pockets. I mean, the hyperscalers are putting out, Amazon's like close to $100 billion for the next year that they're planning to use for growth. Google's at like 70-some billion. Meta's at like 40, 60 billion or something like that. Microsoft is like 70, 80 billion as well. All of these guys have the pockets to do it. IREN does not have it, but I haven't seen it, no. I'll take a look at it if I have time tonight. All right, next one here. I know we are talking about miners, but what about XRP ETF news today? Thoughts? I'm not a big fan of XRP. Haven't been from the beginning, I guess you could say, on that one. I just never saw the need to replace the SWIFT system, especially for the banks, right? One, it's centralized, it's not decentralized. Don't like that fact on it. And then the other part of it was like, okay, you can use XRP for SWIFT, but the banks could also do something on their own if they really wanted to. So I just don't see a moat around that, coin their XRP or the system they're using. All right. Angel says, Seb gone, buy flowers for the miner. For Terrible there. Thoughts on Mawson notice of delisting yesterday? Is it because of under $1 now? Is that what the case is there? Let's take a look at Mawson here. Mawson, yeah, 67 is that. Well, it hasn't been under $1 for too long. I'm not sure what that is. Are they behind on their earnings releases or something like that? Not sure what that reason is there. But Mawson is also one of those smaller ones. It's one that I covered last cycle, more so, or 2021 cycle, where they had pretty good growth potential, but they got hurt, as other miners did as well at that point. They had to sell some of their sites. They sold a site to Cleanspark at that time as well, and they've been transitioning more into becoming like a hosting provider than anything else, along with getting into HPC AI there. And then there's some squabbles internally, I guess, with the founder or this ex-CEO there or something like that, that he said they were going bankrupt. That's why the stock, if you look at it here, crashed like crazy. Right, it was at almost $2.33, and then the news came out that the company's going into bankruptcy or something like that, and the stock went down, down to 62 cents, bounced a little bit off of that. News came out as a fake, but then it's just never recovered after it came back all the way down to this area. So that one is a tough one. Excuse me. So I would tread lightly or tread carefully with this one. Again, don't invest more than you're willing to lose on that one. Okay. Going back here. All right, next one here. Let's see. Cleanspark had a bump after earnings, but other than the HODL benefit, they had a loss on operations. Is this impacting them now? Possibly. But even, we got no more dilution. We know they're getting to 50 exahash. They stated that they should be EPS positive without the HODL here in Q1, or this current quarter that we're in right now. So that should be all good news, I would think, right? And they're generating a heck of a lot of revenue here, especially if Bitcoin goes up in revenue and price. That will bode well for them also. So the stock should be much higher from where it's at right now anyways. All right, let's see. Rec FUDs, anything that isn't Cleanspark, you could say the same. Dangerous for all those companies if BTC drops 50%. Yeah, I would agree with there. I know that Rex is pretty set on Cleanspark, right? And I don't know if rightfully so or not. I'm here to point out the good and the bad in anything, even the ones that I like. So I'm not here to just prop them up. I'll tell you when there's good things and when there's bad things, and the things that I own. All right. The company's giving Cleanspark 27 and 30 price targets, like Cantor are saying Cleanspark can get to that even if Bitcoin stays at 95. Okay, Bitcoin stays at 95,000. They get to 50 exahash. Hash rate stays where it's at. Okay, maybe, right? Maybe. If they also do really good on their other costs and things like that, they get a positive EPS and things like that. Maybe. But that's going to be tough to get to those. I would say maybe a double from where they are right now. So maybe to like $20-some, low 20s, maybe. All right. Ryan has a question here. If we continue to follow the 4-year cycles, what is the latest you think the parabolic cycle could happen? The latest would happen would probably be towards the third quarter. So somewhere around August, September, October, maybe even into November, maybe somewhere around there. It seems like the last cycles, the peak has been like a month shorter each time because the halving events have been also a month faster. So I think somewhere around there is where I would be looking for it. The B-side says, hey, Seb, you remind me of a gray alien. A gray? Why am I gray? With the big brain and the black tight suit. Oh, I'm trying to think. No, I was thinking of another one. There was another show that I was thinking of Pinky in the Brain. You guys remember that Pinky in the Brain cartoon? But that was about a smart mouse and a fat smart mouse and a skinny kind of dumb mouse, I guess. I love that cartoon. Okay. Mind you, yeah, you're correct. I guess you're right. Yeah, I'm an alien. Polish to be exact, yep. Let's see. Okay, Steven says Fridays will be good. Miners usually good Fridays, hopefully. All right, let's see here. Hi, Seb. Does U.S. Border Patrol continue to seize Bitcoin mining equipment impact Bitfarms? Thanks. are they seizing them or they're just? I saw something about that about the imports on those, that they're going to be possibly applying the tariffs or something like that. I don't know. That might delay a little bit. Yeah. All right. Wolf is a failed BTC miner. I mean, they're at almost 10 exahash right now. We don't know where they're at. So they weren't really failed, but we don't know. I mean, tough to say. I wouldn't say that they're failed completely yet as a Bitcoin miner, but they're transitioning more into HPC AI. Pinky was a smart one. Was it Pinky that was a smart one? I can't remember the names now. Pinky and the Brain. I thought the Brain was the fat one there. But yeah. Okay. I think I've caught up to all your guys' questions here. So we're doing pretty good. Time-wise, we're doing good. We're in about 50 minutes, not even 50 minutes, 40 minutes right now. So we're looking good. All right, we'll call it a day. That was easy. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Well, I wish Bitcoin was going up. That'd be nice. All right. But nonetheless, tomorrow, like I said, is Valentine's Day. So unless I'm really bored, I'm hoping I'm not bored tomorrow. So I'll see you guys probably on Sunday. I wish you guys a happy Valentine's Day. Take your significant other out. Have some fun. Celebrate. Hopefully we have a nice day with Bitcoin miners and everything else tomorrow where it's in the green. That'll lift up our spirits, I'm sure, and that way we'll lift up our spouse's spirits as well. All right, I'll see you guys later on this weekend. Enjoy the weekend. Be safe out there. Love you all. I'll see you then.